Hey everybody, so today we're gonna go and we're gonna take a look at my tune. I have an issue where I hit the throttle and it stutters and hesitates to make power. The issue is actually not the response itself, but it's not getting enough fuel when I hit the gas. The throttle body's opening, it's sucking air, but there's not enough fuel for it to make power, so it stutters, pulls time in and does all kinds of weird stuff. So we're gonna modify our fuel tables to allow the tip in fuel or the tip in throttle to actuate properly. So first thing I'm gonna do is go upstairs. I'm gonna start the car, do a log, and we'll get started there. Be sure to subscribe and follow if this is helpful to you. Thanks. All right, so now we're in the car. I got my HP tuners up. I have the car connected. You can see right here. I connected to the vehicle. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a short log to kind of isolate the values on exactly what's going on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the record button and then give it some throttle and then stop scanning, and we're gonna save that log and use that info towards diagnosing the problem here. So I am gonna start scanning right now. We are reading in values. My KPA's around 55 right now, so I'm gonna hit the gas right now. And you can see there, it hesitated to go up in values. It almost stalled. All right, now we're gonna stop scanning. I'll do one more. Okay. Now we are gonna go and save this log file. And we'll put a date here. And all right, and we're gonna save that. I'm gonna move it to my other computer so we can look at it a little bit better. All right, guys, so right here I have the tune that we just did pulled up. I'm gonna show you exactly what's going on. So when we went and hit the throttle the first time, it peaked at 47 or 48% throttle. You can see my, let's see, you can see my AFR on this table is 21.34, which means we're running lean. So basically the car wasn't getting enough fuel. It right here actually is better. Right here, you can see my wideband EQ ratios 1.5 lambda, which is 21.34, I believe. It's very high. So we're getting way too much air and not enough fuel on throttle press. And we were at, 800 RPMs there. And we're basically starving the engine of fuel for that short period of time. So what we need to do is modify our tune so that we get a little bit more fuel when we open the throttle, because it's happening so fast. The car isn't reacting quick enough. So we can look at a few other things. You could see, let's see, spark advance. Yeah. So anyways, what we're gonna do is in our tune, we're gonna modify our uh fuel-based acceleration and enrichment gain, which is under, I'll show you, it's under, if you go to engine, then you go to fuel, then you go to transient. And we are modifying the gain on the acceleration. And what we want to do is give it a little bit more fuel in these lower ranges down here. So we're going to modify that, and we're going to add a little bit of fuel. So going to this table here, what we're going to do, and let me explain what this does. Fuel-based acceleration enrichment gain. What this does is your car naturally tries to target 14.7 AFR if you're running 93 octane. Always. Unless a couple things happen. If you're full throttle and you're above, I believe 60 kPa on your MAP sensor, which means your car is like in boost or it's going to boost, it goes into a different table called fuel enrichment. And during fuel enrichment, it sprays extra fuel in there to try to target a richer mixture. Um, what this table does is it modifies your fueling so that when you initially hit the gas from like an idle, basically anything in this table range, anywhere from 400 RPMs to 2800 RPMs, it adds extra fuel because it knows your throttle body's opening up, and it compensates for that extra burst of air by adding extra fuel. So that's our problem here is we're modifying our transient fueling so that it adds that a little bit extra fuel, because right now we're running extremely lean. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take everything from 400 RPMs at 104 degrees in coolant temp to 1600, and we're gonna multiply that by 1.20. So we're gonna add 20% more fuel at this lower range because we're running lean. So what you're gonna do, if you're curious, is you basically highlight this, you go over to 16, and you hit this X, and it's gonna multiply all these values, and it's gonna increase them. So now everything's slightly higher when you're under throttle, and so then you click off. Now you can see everything red is what we modified, and we're gonna close this and save that. Oh, I guess we can't save. This is on my computer here. I have to go and do this on my laptop. But I wanted to show you guys what we're going to modify, and then we're going to go do a download and see if our throttling is a little bit better. All right, so I did the changes I discussed here. I increased this all by 20%. And we are ready to go. So we're going to go, if you don't know, you go to run mode. And we're gonna write vehicle. Oh, let's connect first. We're just gonna write right here. You have to click OK. It wants you to close, put it in the off position, wait 10 seconds. And then we're gonna open our scanner utility up. We're gonna start the car. We're gonna start scanning. GPS connected. I'm gonna let it warm up a little bit. This isn't my performance pages aren't working right. Worth noting. I was like, there's no way it's still 132. Okay, let's give it a... Sometimes they don't work when you start it up. Let's give it some gas. It's still, like, really bad. Okay, well, back to the drawing board. Alright, so here's the log. I didn't really see anything change much. We're still seeing like 20 AFR, even more at 1600 RPMs, which isn't good. Our timing isn't good. So anyways, power enrichment isn't turning on, which is good. We're gonna try a couple different things here now. Alright, first thing we're gonna do is multiply the throttle base gain by 20% in this range. We're going to increase it by 15% here. And then here we're going to increase it by 10%. Next, we're going to go back here in this range, only up to 1600 RPMs. We're going to multiply this by 10% more. Under fuel-based acceleration enrichment filter, which is this one right here, we're going to lower this by 20%. So we're going to multiply it by 0.80. I'm actually just going to do that to 1600. So that'll give it more time to react. First thing I'm going to do is modify this. This controls the enrichment. We're going to make it 4. So fuel enrichment kicks in. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to go ahead and close this log file before we do anything. The write has been completed. Okay, we open the scan tool up. We leave the car off. I feel like if I open the door, the car actually shuts off. Alright. Now we're gonna start logging. K-band, Ka-band, laser, GPS connected. We are logging. The car is probably still warm. I might wait a little bit of time before I mean, I can already tell that felt way better. I barely touched the gas, but it like immediately reacted versus what it was doing before, which was, although it shows it 28 AFR right there. Coolant temp. Let's see. It's 168. I don't know why this isn't doing shit. It does that sometimes. It feels better though, for sure. I did a download. I did a log, and this is what we have on this time around. Now I can tell you it felt so much better after those changes. It's not perfect. It's not what I would want it to be, but it was a huge improvement. So let's look at the log. Let's see. Right here. Okay, throttle position sensor. Let's zoom in a little more. Not there. Okay, right here, throttle position sensor 80%. Let's look at the EQ. You can see here now at 800, it was 16. And then at 1200, it was still rich. But, you know, I can show you. Actually, I'll pull the old log up. I'll show you the difference. Here's number 2. We'll put them side by side. Now on this log, we were here, EQ1. When we hit the throttle, throttle position sensor 73, we were at 19, almost 20. I think it, yeah. And at 1200, it was 27. But now the new log, it's a lot lower. You can see it's at 15, 22 versus 27. So we're moving in the right direction. But we might do some more changes to try to get it even better. Let's see what we can do. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take this range, we're gonna add 10% more. Our next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take this range up to 1600 and multiply it by 0.75 and do that. All right, let's do a download. It is hot in here.
K-band, Ka-band, laser, GPS connected.
Save, right. All right, this is a good time to ask everybody to like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel, so that's the only way to do it. One suggestion I found is they wanted me to reduce my minimum timing to 3 degrees at idle. And it was like set to like -7 was minimum. And I know that if your engine, you get engine knock, the engine naturally tries to pull timing and it would disable the engine's ability to do that. So I didn't make that change, but I thought I'd throw it out there. I think we're moving in a positive direction. I don't feel like doing massive changes to my timing tables to play, so I didn't do that. Okay, I think we're good. AC, dude.
K-band, Ka-band, laser.
Okay.
GPS connected.
Oh, we got a log. So we go to scanner, log file. We close this log file. Now we start logging. I don't see it doing anything. All right. Now we're logging. Temperature is currently coolant's 172, oil's 156. Let's give it a go. Oh god, that's so much better. Before I hit the watch, I'll try to put a side by side after this. But when I hit the gas before, I probably for like 300 milliseconds, it just didn't move, and it sat there. So that feels way better. I don't feel like it's gonna stall anymore when I hit the gas hard, so that's positive. I think I'm gonna leave it here because I'm satisfied with it and I don't know how much better I'll be able to get it. So why don't we go for a ride? These people in Kentucky don't stop at stop signs. So we're gonna give it a few revs just to like test it. Does it stumble a little bit? I mean, not nearly as bad as it was. It's not like going into a stall, you know what I mean? Like, it's better. It's a lot better. So that's positive. I mean, the engine's getting a lot of air really fast. I'm happy with it. All right, so this is after the drive we just did. This is a pretty long tune because I drove around for like 10-15 minutes. This beginning part would be in the driveway, and you can see already my AFR goes lean a little bit. We're hitting 17, 18 now versus what we saw before where it was like 29. So, I mean, it made a huge difference. Right here's the same. I could probably go a little higher, but we're not going to do that. Let me see. And we did a few pulls here. You know, it's looking good. We're at a very rich AFR up in here. Probably too rich. That's something else I could mess with later if it would actually make more power, but generally you want to be around 12 to 13 AFR with my setup. You know, I have a supercharger and a larger displacement motor. But you're seeing in here we're going down to like 10.7, which is extremely rich. So there's actually a lot more power to be made in my car, but we have a pretty conservative tune. So let's see in here. I kind of got on it pretty hard. But you can see, you know, that's where we were like at that high rich AFR. But long story short is, you know, we're looking way better. Like I mean, the scan tool is your evidence, and my evidence is showing me instead of being at 29 AFR around here, we're at 18, 17. So that's a lot safer. We like I said, we could crank the number up a little bit more if we wanted to, but we're not going to blow anything up anymore. I was afraid the car was going to explode because it was stalling and pulling timing and shit. So it looks a lot better. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like the content. We got it working a lot better. If anybody has any questions, needs any help with their tune, something that I might be able to help with, comment in the video and I'll take a look at it. Thanks for watching.